Hello and welcome to coverage of the Magic Online Community Cup 2014. We're in Renton, Washington. Marshall Sutcliffe in the booth. I've got Sean Main with me. I also have Brian David Marshall in the red zone. And, well, the Community Cup's over. There's a champion, Sean Plott. He won the Community Cup, as did all the rest of the community members. You can see, you probably know who Day 9 is. He's his favorite format of choice, booster draft. I like that. That is the correct answer, by the way. So he got bonus
how
points
about conspiracy?
You can booster draft it.
Yes.
So yes, a little more specific. And here is Mr. Scotty Mac, Scott McCullum. He likes modder. He's a streamer and he's a founding member of the A-Team podcast on manadeprived.com. And they are meeting now in our second semifinal. So the winner of this is going to advance to the finals.
This is exciting. So what are the two decks we're seeing?
So originally, Mr. Scotty Mac there had chosen Teamer. He went a little beyond Teamer. He said he has 9
it might not be a good one.
dual plus producing mana lands and has gone completely
Reasonable.
off the deep end.
Okay.
And is full 5 colors.
How's your hand? How does it look? That's fine.
Okay, so he's actually playing things of every single color. I assume mostly tri-color cards.
Correct. And he has gone with double color cards, tri-color cards. Like he has a flagrant just abuse of his mana
The
base.
clans all coming together, sure.
That's right. Now on the other side we
gain
have
your
Sean
life.
Plott, who's on Obs.
All right. I'm gonna F6 your turn, and I'm gonna avoid F6ing my
Now,
turn.
Sean, I'm gonna warn
right.
you here.
We
have
need
the
to
two
go
most
so
chatty
huge
players.
on this next draw.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm going to be pausing us every once in a while to let them chat because we can actually hear them.
We need to
on
go
the feed.
huge. We need. Oh. I mean, that is a big card. Oh.
So Sean is just
All right. He already has a little fear in him.
distraught here.
All right.
I
come
don't
on.
know actually what he's yelling about, but he
All right,
says his card is big. So, ooh, what do you think about that draw, Sean May?
That is one exciting draw. So he's got
Prepare the attack.
Marduk's Skull
Send in
Hunter
the
was
attack.
ripped.
He is all in on warriors, it looks like.
And this one is going to be nice. He's
Get
going
a
to get
card
the
out.
discard out of it. He got in for 3 damage. It's a 3/1 Marduk's Skull Hunter instead of regular, thanks to the Chief of the Edge.
One of the things that was important with this set was we wanted the enemy color pairs, since they're the things that cross over 2 different clans, to really have like strategies that you could potentially go into that would touch both of the clan strategies. So this warrior deck is like what white-black is doing in the set, even separate from the clan strategies.
Now we see one of the key mechanics for the set as a whole, morph, come into play here, and doing exactly what part of its job was, I'm assuming, which is letting people like Scotty Mac, who went off the deep end with their mana base, still cast spells.
Yeah. So one of the things, obviously, you've got a million lands making this 3-color strategy viable, but also you need things that you can just play. And so morphs kind of fill that role. Some of the time you're just playing gray ogres, and some of the time they're eating like this your opponent's removal. So they're being very relevant cards, even sometimes when you can't flip them up necessarily.
So the beatdown continues here
Yeah,
for Sean
look
Plott,
at this.
And the question is, can Scotty Mac stabilize before he gets ran over? Because if you
Only
look,
2
Sean
lands.
Plott's on 2 lands, yeah. And meanwhile, Scotty Mac has got access to all the colors of Magic except for blue, it looks like, which is maybe a little awkward with the Teamer Ascendancy in his hand. But I don't think he's going to be needing that for a while anyway. He's got a Pine Walker he can play face down. This would be the second one. And he's trying to decide between that and what he did play, which was, I don't know the name of it, but it's a Teamer morph that becomes a 5/5 trump.
And you'd rather play that one face down because he doesn't have the blue. He'd rather just trade that with a guy than a card he might be able to unmorph in a turn or 2.
Right, makes good sense. Pine Walker later can become a full-on 5/5 on this board, and regardless of whether Scotty draws blue mana or not. Interesting decision here for Sean Plott. He decides only to attack with his Skull Hunter, but we'll note here that he has drawn his 3rd land as well. You got to figure Scotty's just going to snap this one off, right? No, he takes the damage. Interesting. Falls down to 10. And what's the follow-up?
Ooh, more raid.
Mordu Horde Chief. Oh my goodness, look at that. Guess what's a warrior?
Oh, yeah.
Guess who brought a warrior friend along for the fight? He just put 5 power on the battlefield just off of that attack, and I got to feel that Scotty Mac is going to be looking at that no block and wondering if maybe he should have just made the
So
trade.
good no attack on the Chief there, then, I think.
Absolutely. I think Scotty would have snapped off the Chief.
God, come on, just tap out.
So Raid was actually the first mechanic that we had in the set after Morph. We were looking for just more reasons to get you swinging with your Morph sometimes, that Morph likes bluffing. And so Raid is adding another element to that you're attacking with a creature. Maybe it can turn up, maybe it can't. But you still have the follow-up play just like that.
And here's a nice one, Armament Core.
yeah.
So now we see what Scotty Mac's plan was. He wanted to keep the Morph on the battlefield, not because he didn't want to take damage, it was just because he needed a target to make 2 4/4s now here, which block excellently against the field. So Scotty Mac looking a couple of turns ahead here and finding a line that gets him, well, ostensibly he's stable now. And we'll see if this actually works out for him. Could take 5 damage here if Sean Plott wanted him to, but it would cost Sean half of his board state. You can't figure that that's going to be worth it. So Sean really hoping to find some green mana soon as he has 3 green spells, and I think this turn's just going to have to be a Morph.
Yeah, it might be too soon to say that, but you have a little more information when your opponent only has 2 colors of their 3 colors available to them. You know what it can't be, or you know what some of the tricks you can play around.
Yes.
Just tippity tapping, tippity slapping all through. Oh, we're halfway there. Oh, he would.
Turns out it's hard to draw all 5 colors of your mana.
Apparently, certainly hasn't done it
You
yet.
just
but
play a face-up Pine Walker
yeah,
here,
you
right?
just pine walk. Just walk on some pines here. Those pines had it coming anyway. Slam that thing, Scotty. He would have a 5/5, a 4/4.
Sorry, I didn't see the
4/4.
sign. I didn't mean to just trample all over these.
That worked out well. That was part of my big 4 strategy.
That Teamer Ascendancy just rotting away in Scotty's hand. I don't think it's really going to see play for a while here. It's also just not what he wants to be doing.
Is this?
I think if we saw another, Mardu dude, we'd dump that immediately.
Kind of interesting. Scotty could actually consider attacking next turn if he wants. He can get the bellowing 4/5 guy, which I can't remember the name of. Down.
It's time to have fear.
Oh no! It's green mana now
Oh, yeah.
for Sean Plott. Scotty, you should be afraid, buddy. A lot of bad things can happen from this standpoint.
Bears could get punched.
This is certainly the set
Yes.
if you like bluffing. I mean, look at that
Scales
combat
could
trick
be
sitting in his
tipped.
hand. Yeah. Between Morph and Raid and Prowess, there's just a million things that can surprise your opponent and blow him out from nowhere. And then some combat tricks, too.
No, I'm just passing it through.
But no attack here. He's going to sit back for the time being and not develop his board, so it looks like he's going to try to use that instant speed trick he has. You get 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature and untap it. Oh no, BDM.
Oh, this is.
He's walking the trail of mystery.
Yeah, it's a little late.
It is. If he could have played, can you imagine?
played 3 morphs this
Can you
game.
imagine what happens if he plays this card on turn 2 this game?
He would have more lands. So this is a card that VDM has had his eye on ever since he first saw it previewed. A lot of text there. Pretty interesting card.
Where do you fall on this card, Marshall? Yay or nay?
Nay,
Nay.
uninterested.
Huh?
It's too cute for me.
Really?
Doesn't attack, doesn't
Even in your land of going deep and having to play morphs to make up your drops and then like to hit your mana, your colors?
I'll probably end up playing this, but I'm not excited about it. It's too weird. I don't get it. All right, and he is going to battle here.
Right.
And just to unlock his 4/5. I guess he figures a 5/5 and a 4/5 are about the same thing. He doesn't want to lose the 4 life, so send him in. And bellowing saddle brutes.
Sean just takes it.
Yeah, he's got a lot of life to play with here. He's fine.
got 25% less life now.
That was a big hit.
Okay.
Do we remember what the morph is here?
Which one?
Sean's? I mean, Scott's?
All right. Okay, wait. You know what? I'm just gonna do it on your.
I think it's the teamer
do it.
morph, right? The 5/5 trample one,
Yeah.
All right.
which he doesn't have blue. Now the counters would stay on it though if he is able to turn that face up. It would be a 7/7 trample. That has been known to turn the tide pretty nicely here. Here's an Outlast card now. Is this the first strike Outlast, Sean Main?
I believe it is.
I'm trying to get you 2 years in the past here.
Outlast actually was one of those that, in design, we knew we wanted the Abzan to be, you know, they're the ones that play the long game, and this is one of those mechanics that development keeps turning the knob on, and you know, maybe you need mana on the Outlast. Maybe you need to use it at sorcery speed and tap your guy, and it's one of those that like initially design was playing with and we're having fun with, and then the developers play it and just like, oh, well, I'll sit here forever, block you forever, make a army of 7/7s, now it's time to attack.
That sounds like fun.
You can still do that. And then we also added like the tribal element, so rather than just have one Outlast guy, you've got them all linking arms and helping each other out.
All right, so here was the game plan for Sean Plott. He wanted to turn over his Abzan guide.
A warrior.
Another warrior, so it's actually a 5/4 with lifelink. Normally it was a 4/4, which actually matters quite a bit here thanks to the Bellowing Saddle Brute.
Yeah, and that with the
With the pump spell?
with the pump spell untapped, 2 counters.
Lifelink?
Yeah, that's gonna be
I think, yeah, I put Scotty
You
back
know,
to the test. I
bathing
think
in blood there.
yeah, I think the obvious block is the Bellowing Saddle Brute. Uh-oh.
You're gonna see some bear punching.
Bear punch.
I'm savagely
Target creature
punching
you
this
control
man punching
fights
a bear
another
in the
creature you
face.
don't control. But if
Bear
you've got a
punching in the
creature with
face.
4
This better be-
greater, which he does, it gets +2/+2 first. So he just gets to eat it, and it happened to be the morph he decided to kill. Snowhorn Rider. That was the
A
teamer
5/5
morph.
beast or
Yeah.
a human warrior out. Oh, because it's a rider.
It's the
sure.
yeah. And an
Okay.
Inoc Bondkin, and that
Okay.
is the first strike one. Now, does he have any other counters? Not currently. He does have a way to
Alright,
get
so we gotta- we
counters
gotta
on one of his
very
other creatures
careful.
for first strike, so that could become a really
Surprise
powerful.
first strike in addition to those counters and untap. Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds great.
I got to say, I like where Sean Plott's sitting now. Interesting here, though. Scotty Mack has just drawn Force Away. That's the bounce spell. So he is going to be able to interact at least with that pump spell quite nicely.
Really?
here.
Is
Once
he?
he gets blue
Is
mana.
he? No
Eventually.
blue mana still.
He'll get there.
We need a morph. Sean's hand is
Wow.
forced into attack here because his opponent's probably just dead.
And now Mr. Scotty Mack has to go into the tank and try to figure out how to suss out these blocks.
Okay.
I got to say, Scott's done a noble job for only having 4 colors.
That's right. Yeah, because you squirm a little bit, and then we're going to just see how you block. We're going to examine what you're up to. You see, I've leaned back, I'm
Yeah,
relaxed.
Dragon Scale Boom should be the coup de grace here.
All those songs might be going through my head.
I refuse to do the
I'm
math on
leaning back
this,
Not because I feel like I'm in a good position.
but it feels like he's dead.
I think he's actually going to take 8. But
Oh, I thought you just
and maybe as little
bold
as 6.
decision.
I mean, he's got 2 +1/+1 counters just sitting there. Does that change anything?
Well, he's going to use the 2+1+. He's going to use the 2 counters. So he's going to probably get through for 6 here. Probably pump up his Abzan guide.
And just let it run over the armament
Yeah.
core?
Yeah. Gain himself
That makes sense.
7 life.
3, 6,
But again,
7.
whatever he puts those tokens, actually he can put it on his chief
On
and
the
get
first strike.
right?
Yeah, but the other creatures have only other creatures with +1/+1 counters get first strike. So currently that's none.
Right, but if he does the Dragon Scale Boon,
Mm-hmm.
that'll get first strike.
You're saying he can put it on something else and get it? Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
So if he puts it on the chief,
On the guide?
On the guy, yeah. No. If he puts it on the chief will gain first strike.
This
And
here?
so he preserves his warrior bonus.
Yeah, it depends on. Scotty's trying out
Chief of
every
the edge.
conceivable block. So let's see what he comes up with for blocks, and then we'll see. That'll tell us where he wants to put the +1/+1 counters. But yeah, that's a nice play, BDM. I like that.
I mean, whatever he puts it on, it's going to first strike to something to death and untap.
This has Scott taking 7, by the way. Yeah, I think that warrior bonus is actually the most important thing here, even more important than the life.
Yep, and that's what he does. So he,
oh wow, what a beating! These trade, that trades. You get to keep one guy. You go to 4. And Mr. Scotty Mac, I don't think he's. I mean, I don't know all the cards in his deck, but I don't know if a Sultai Flayer is going to get the job done here.
oh, interestingly, with first strike, he can let a guy die, gain 4 life before the rest of the damage
you're
finishes
right.
resolving.
Maybe he gets him a draw step. I wonder if any of his blue mana sources come into play untapped.
Probably 2.
The random 2 islands.
Probably 2 islands, yeah.
All right, that's. Yeah, all right.
Nope, not good
Yeah.
enough.
I mean, I think Scott had another draw step there, but decided it wasn't worth the clock.
All right, so Sean, did that play out roughly how you would have envisioned this type of matchup? Somebody going super deep
The
with 5
5-color
colors?
deck.
Yeah, I mean, was that
succumbing?
something that?
So one of the big things was we just started. You start with the mana fixing to make 3 colors work, and in the ideal scenario. And then when you don't have the ideal scenario, well, you've got to add a little bit more mana fixing, and that's actually, for a long time, we had just the enemy color refuges in the set. Then we added the ally colors so that there was a little bit more ability if you end up sort of confused with your neighbors in draft. And so as a result, like, you can draft anything. You can draft 2-color decks, you can draft 3-color decks, you can draft 2 splashing a 3rd, and you can take everything and go really deep like this and play all the good cards.
That's got to be interesting though, because you have to make it punishing, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't just, if you do too good of a job with the mana fixing, then you don't incentivize anybody to play the cool clans that you've built.
Well, yes. One is you want to make sure you're showing off the themes. Certainly 5 color shouldn't be the default that you're getting, but you are punished for it because all your lands, or most of your lands, are coming into play tapped. And so you're just a turn behind, and in Morph World, being a turn behind is a serious drawback.
That's why you need Trail of Mystery.
Trail of Mystery.
Because that doesn't put you a turn behind.
It doesn't put you a turn behind. You play it on turn 2. On turn 3, you play your morph. You go get your 4th land. You're able to unmorph on turn 5 your crazy tribal guy.
There's a few things
In the world of Brian David Marshall, it's always perfect into perfect.
Yes.
I mean, I'll play it. Look,
Yeah.
I'm going to try it out. I'm with you.
I mean, you
I'll probably wait for a screenshot from you showing me
Sure.
you just abusing the card, and then I'll be like, I'm in.
if you like playing poker, the Morph deck is not a bad one to go into.
Yes, agree. Good bluff mechanic.
do you feel better about Secret Plans as a morph enchantment?
No.
You don't feel better about it?
Nope.
Green, blue, face down creatures you control get +0/+1.
Yeah, I
which
saw.
is pretty big.
I figured somebody might play that. I'm too busy on my treasure cruise, though. I'm sipping a drink. I'm on the deck.
I have a disdainful stroke for your treasure cruise.
Plus
Yes.
0/+1. Your morphs beat their morphs.
I think the disdainful stroke should, like, you get the spell if it costs double 4 mana.
If you have ferocious.
So players are wrapping up their sideboard decisions here, and it looks like they're just jumping back into the match. And we will do the same. And we're going to get a finalist here out of either this game or the next one, depending how well things go for Scott McCallum. And does he have a keep? He's got to really look at his opening hands because he has so many different things going on. Look at that opener.
Okay.
He's
That
got,
is a.
he's got a Mardu opener?
I think he's got an Abzan opener.
Oh, Abzan opener.
Yeah.
There you go.
And in fact, all of it, even as his spells.
Sean seems to be playing this very white-black warrior deck.
He really does. I like it. This
The
deck
green
looks
looks
sweet.
like a splash, yeah.
Before Scott has to try to decide which of the now 4 tap lands he's drawn to play next. He doesn't want to mess up the sequencing on these. But he's marching up. Oh, no 2-drop there for Sean Platt.
Oh, we've now opened up the Sultai.
All right, Sultai has now joined the party. Mardu's out, but it's only a matter of time. And this actually looks like a nice sequence for Scott. He gets to play the Sultai Flayer, can probably attack, and then follow it up with the bellowing guy.
The Sultai Flayer having this like toughness for or greater matters, kind of the
Oh, it still doesn't have red.
Oh,
What were you
different
saying,
color
John?
missing.
Yeah.
This couple cards with this 4 toughness matters, as opposed to the ferocious 4 power matters, that plays a little bit more of a green-black strategy of just have toughness, and there's some infest type cards. There's some cards that
I mean,
I want
that's
people to be
just
talking
huge.
about that infest type card just yet. Like a week or 2 to exploit that.
you don't think people are going to jump right on infest being good in Morph World?
All right, let's see what Sean Plott has. He has Alabaster Kirin. So Flying Vigilance 2/3 for 4. That's solid. But it looks like, oh, interesting, a Murderous Cut now for Scott as well. And look at him, he's already agonizing.
No.
If he plays an untapped land, he can leave up Murderous Cut.
Right, you play the regular land, you attack with the
Yes,
Flayer,
yes.
you see if he double blocks.
And then you blow him out if he does, and
Yeah.
if he doesn't, then you just play your
4/5.
Saddle Brute.
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't do it. So conservative is Scott. He's just actually going to take the 4 here.
He's at, I mean,
I mean, he did gain
he
4.
did gain 4 from his, he accumulated a raid trigger from his lands.
I just can't resist the opportunity to get in for 3 damage, save myself 4 life, and even
And
let my
potential-
opponent maybe.
And potentially get a 2 for 1, yeah.
That's where I was going, yeah. Save the best for last there, BD. I want
Yeah.
that 2 for 1. As it stands, he does have a substantial ground force, though, and it's going to be pretty tough for Sean Plott to get through on the ground. He does start pecking away with that Alabaster Kirin, and that's going to unlock the raid mechanic here on Mardu Horde Chief. So
Oh,
Mardu
there
Horde
you
Chief
see
and
utter
friends.
end.
28 cards in my deck.
Utter end. That's exile target non-land permanent.
Correct.
End of story.
Yeah.
Source Badger.
Utter end.
So now he just goes in with both.
Oh, Rashad. I don't know if I can repeat that on the stream. It's offensive. All right, fine, I'll say it. Rashad said, which end? Not this end, the...
Other end?
Except 7 damage.
He likes it. All right, the battles are afoot now, so all of a sudden Scott's decided it's time to fight. But I'm not sure why, is he's going to take a big hit here.
I think
2, 4,
he's
6,
just
7.
thinking about you starting to use his removal.
He's just going to start picking creatures off here?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. I could see that. He can only kill 1, though.
Right.
Maybe he convinces Sean Plott to turn that Morph face up and kind of use up his
Oh,
whole
that's
turn
his
here.
ideal. That's his ideal situation.
No, he just took it. Scotty Mac just takes it to the chin. He's got a plan here. Wow, Ivory Tusk Fortress
All right.
Yeah.
in foil no less. It's a 5/7. That seems like a good target for removal. Anybody?
Yeah, that is getting destroyed.
Yeah, let's kill that. He's going to use Murderous Cut because it takes a little bit more mana here as he doesn't have anything in his yard yet anyway. Murderous Cut's a nice one. Check that out if you guys like efficient removal spells. Destroy target creature for 4 and a black at instant speed, but it's got
Oh,
Delve.
look at Icy Blast there. That's beautiful.
Oh, that's a good rip there. Now that one triggers off of Ferocious, right?
Right.
And he has that. He's got a 4-power creature with the Bellowing Saddle Brute, so
Send them both.
that was a good draw. Going to reset a stop there just to make sure. And this could actually just end it, like depending on how Sean Plott sequences this out, because they're all going to be tapped and they're all going to stay that way.
Yeah,
And
ideally,
Scotty actually has lethal.
you icy blast everything, and then when he goes to Dragon Scale Boon next turn, you utter end.
You utter end, or just when he plays a blocker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Either way.
Yeah,
Either way, he
that
creates a
icy blast
blocker.
off the top was huge for Scott McCollum. It made his line viable. Like now he can actually just win this game next turn.
And now he has the mana to cast it.
Yeah. Only drew
Ascendancy.
one red uncastable this turn.
Teamer Ascendancy
Yes.
was stranded in his hand both games, just hanging out.
He had to morph one of his red cards last game. Sean's thinking about attacking. It's just okay. You can just declare your attack step, and
And
the decision will be removed for you.
and here's Scotty Mac. Going to tap down the team here, and they're going to stay that way. This card is brutal. Here, let me bring it up once he puts it on the stack. There you go. That's a rare. You won't be seeing that one too often, but when you do, you'll
That's
know.
a shame. That's a shame. I would like
Yeah, fun
draft
format.
a couple of those.
I do like that it's balanced, though. You know, because if you don't have the 4-power creature, it's not broken at all.
Right.
It's a nice tempo play that can maybe pick you up a win or an extra draw step, but ultimately isn't the answer you need. But if you have Ferocious, forget about it.
People keep comparing sort of the Ferocious mechanic to the Naya 5-power mechanic. And the difference between them is Ferocious tends to be on these spells, and it's just rewarding you. It's not making your big creatures better. It's just rewarding you for them sitting there.
All right, here he goes.
Oh, are you gonna? You can't utter end here.
Why?
Well, you have to play around the Dragon Scale Boon. I mean, he doesn't know it's there, but
Oh, it's
I mean,
if your
we're
opponent-
asking a lot of
if your
Scotty
opponent's
Mac
playing,
to play around
if your
that
opponent's
here.
playing but why wouldn't you just attack? Those aren't untapping next turn.
I mean, he has lethal. He wants to get that thing out of the way and kill his opponent right now. Like, as far as he knows, this is going to actually just kill Sean.
For 3 cards in hand, I would be very. I would let
I
him
would have
just.
jammed. Dude, I don't even know, like, what does this card do again? I mean, that's the point I'm at with this set. I don't blame him at all. I just get in there. He does have him down to 2, and remember, those other creatures aren't untapping here. We have a game here, though. This is going to get really interesting because can the Ferocious
Yeah,
Punch
we're
do
just
anything?
we're just gonna punch that bellowing saddle brute out of the yard.
And it looks like Scotty had it all planned out, and I think Sean Plott's going to find himself in the finals, or in the finals here, as he's already up a game. And he's actually going to do a bunch of damage here as well. Is he worried about haste?
Cast this puppy. Couldn't cast it face down.
He's going to make a flyer. That resolves.
I think I'll have to debilitatingly injure this guy for safety.
Oh, weird. He goes for a debilitating injury. He does have Ferocious, though, right?
He does.
He does.
Wow, this is a risky play here. If Scott finds a way to get that flyer out of the way, he can force a chump block. Wow, he did. He can force a chump block here and try to keep Sean on his back heels. This is some risky business. So Alabaster Kieran's probably just going to get bounced out of there.
Target, no, owner's hand.
So you just bear punch there, right?
I just bear punch.
I mean,
I also
removal's
would not have utter ended. I really would not have. I would be.
I mean, that's fine. I believe you.
Yeah,
I'm
that's just
saying,
that's
come
like a
on.
big Abzan combat trick. That's what they want to do.
Yes, but he doesn't know that as
Oh,
my
maybe,
point.
yeah, maybe, I
I'm
guess
just
so.
saying, like, the set hasn't even come out yet.
Okay, I'm gonna
I would play around. Like, if I stopped and said, Scott, are you aware of this card? He might reconsider, but he, he's probably like reading it as it was being cast.
I don't want to.
All right, so here's a chump block.
Paper magic.
But remember, Sean Plott gets to untap now. He gets his creatures back, and Scotty Mac is out of gas.
What's Sean's morph?
What's it? I don't remember.
Is it the life linker?
Is it?
I think it is.
Oh, man. Is it? The 4/4 lifelink?
I think it's a. I
That
think
would
it's,
be pretty good
I
here.
think it's an Abzan guy, but I'm not certain.
Now, I think that Sean has enough mana backup here to actually play 2 creatures, though, right? He can play the 4-drop, and that is a 2-drop, I believe, the first strike outlast creature. So he's got options here. He also, all right, get in there. And let's see if he goes for morph or if he leaves some mana back
All right.
to play creatures. He does. He drops his opponent down to 6, and he sets up a lethal board state, so it's going to have to be something spectacular for Scotty Mac. Interesting. Ice Feather Aven, and it's also lethal. This...
Can he stay alive?
I don't know if
here,
he can
though?
bounce something, maybe block the warrior and still live, though. I think he's going to die. I think he might have to end up chumping with the Aven even after the bounce happens here. Also, that morph, like, what is it doing? It's just sitting there. Wow, this has been a good game.
Tap carefully.
Yeah, easy. He wants to make sure that blue mana is over
Cut
there.
the blue wire. No, no, not the blue wire! Not the blue wire!
Okay. So, interestingly, he could bounce the 2/3 flyer right now and attack. That would force a chump block. I don't know if it changes the race. It probably just leaves him dead. Does it? Bounce that. Force a chump. It actually doesn't. He could block the morph and not die. Wow, this has been an interesting game. A lot of different options. A bear punch would be not good here, right? He can get the creature bounce in response.
Yes.
Well, not knowing what either morph is key right now, because the morph has trample. The morph's a big guy with trample.
So Sean Plott trying to figure out how the heck he can approach this this potentially final turn.
Sean could be too cautious here, right? Just send the morph.
He could. You got to figure he's going to send the Alabaster Kirin since it has vigilance anyway.
Yeah.
So if I swing out, what happens?
Oh, Sean Plott, he is deep in the tank. And Scotty Mac, get this back. Look at him, cool as a cucumber.
He's like, here are some of the cards I could have.
It's getting the
Scotty
chatter.
Mac.
It's getting the chatter going. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna circumvent this.
It is a lifelink morph. Confirmed. Rashad says
Abzan
you were
Guide,
right, BDM, yeah. So that's a must bounce. Sean Plott attacking for lethal. Plus another one.
Yep.
So this is interesting because if Scotty Mac goes for the bounce and it's not on the morph and Sean Plott flips it face up and can gain a bunch of life, it also could just kill Scotty. That's 4 plus the 2 in the air would be lethal.
Again, I'm leaning back. It's a lean back moment. Make no decisions right now. I'm going to
Sean
hit
says
F3.
it's a lean back.
So you put morph on morph, 2/3 on 2/3.
Or just the 2/1. You just eat that creature.
Sure.
And if you do that, you're taking 4.
Yeah.
This set is going to be unreal. Look at this. This is crazy board state. Scott McCallum has to try to figure out what Sean has for his morph. He's got to figure out what happens when he turns his morph over, what he bounces, and then if that thing will trade for whatever the other thing is, whether it's a morph or not.
Okay, walk me through.
Now, Scotty is way ahead on clock. He plays pretty quickly, so he gets to fold his arms.
He's
and
an
sit back.
aggressive F6.
There's a line that I
Yes.
can take, which will mean I potentially don't die and win, versus just decisively not dying this turn. That's the chance.
So you have to swim through your deck, which has hundreds of possible cards in it.
Well,
They're discussing.
really it comes down to what is that morph card, I think.
What's your
if-
thought process on
Well, if the morph card is the Abzan Guard, which is the 4/4 lifelinker, then my aggressive line, or my trying to kill you line will backfire and outlet. But other options, 1, 2, 3, 4. There are still lots of cards I could draw. So let's do this.
This is interesting. He said he thinks it might be the Abzan Guide that's
So
the
let's
morph.
do
He
it.
says that's the
Judge,
problem.
there's a panda on the table. What's the ruling on table pandas?
Maybe this is, wait, 1, 2, 3. Because that's going to do that. So 5 block. If I block him,
Right, the problem is if you put morph on morph, just pass, if he passes, then they just put it
Sure.
high. No value added here.
So-
Raven.
so the problem
If
I have
you
here is
use
so
Raven,
if I
then
block-
he's just going to use.
I don't want to block with
Use
him.
Raven on anything.
You
other
flip
than
that, it's lifelink, I die. So I think my best chance is this.
He says he thinks his best chance is
Yeah.
this. He's lining up a block.
That. I think is my best line.
So he's taking lethal.
Wait, don't you just die?
So Sean just said, don't you just die?
Well, you can press F2 and find out.
And
Wait.
Scotty's just goading him. He says, well, press F2 and find out. And he's going to, because yes, he doesn't have to do anything here. And there's Ice Feather Aven, and it is going to bounce the morph. So Scotty
today.
does not die this
Okay.
turn. He's going to take 4 damage.
Again, you got a trick, I can't beat it anyway. Right? So
Yeah. So
this is kind of where I'm at.
okay. So that is coming home.
All right. I will definitely use this ability.
Yeah. All right. So
Called it!
Right, now he just has to
Alright.
find a way to deal with the Alabaster Kieran and he can win.
So I got a 2.
Right, so this is his line, and he was talking about this as saying, well, if I want to try to win, I got a lot of outs. You know, if this line works,
Then I'm
he can
going to
attack for
play
2. So he's taking it.
discard.
Yep.
Now the Mardu Skull Hunter's not going to do much
I'll
here.
discard a card.
All
Discard
right.
a
Move with something great.
Yeah, it was. I was sandbagging it just for that card, actually. Ready? Want to see it?
Yeah. And
There you
it's
go.
a plane.
Talking
Yeah.
trash now.
And then I'm going to choose target creature you
There is
control,
another Aven.
creature you don't control.
Uh-oh.
Pay.
In Scotty's deck.
But Bear Punch looks
Oh,
like it's
okay.
going to
So, yeah,
take
you-
down the flyer and leave that door
Alright.
closed. So
'Cause
now
I'm
he
blue,
has to
I'm
find a way to
burnt
get rid of
Yeah,
2
an island.
creatures. An island is not going to do it, and
Damn it.
that's it. Sean
Wow.
Plott advances. That was one heck of a
Yeah,
game.
yeah, that was intense watching the Abzan houses endure.
No kidding. Wow, great stuff there from those 2 players down the stretch. Remember, they're figuring out the format as they go. They're trying to remember the cards that they've seen or maybe played with, and we have 2 finalists now.
I want to say, you said that these guys don't know the cards, but I got to tell you, in that room, when they're not on camera, they are firing off foreman, sealed cues,
Yeah, they're learning
heads
as
up,
much as they
sealed
can.
decks. They have seen a lot of this set at this point, and do know a lot of the cards.
All right.
They're playing a lot of Magic in there.
So there's a little more Magic to be played. We have the finals. Bjorn Andreasen versus Sean Plott. We have the Mardu versus the Abzan. And these are 2 straight up. I don't think either of these players stretched out any further than their 3 clan
They're
colors.
committed to the colors?
Yes, they are. And we're going to get a champion here. This has been really fun to see an early
Intense
sneak
game.
peek.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
some intense games too. I like it. All right. So we are almost ready for it. We are going to have an interview with Sean Plott in just a moment here as he's getting seated. And I mean, he's going to be ready for the finals. Like he's got to try to face this really aggressive sort of combo finish deck that Bjorn Andreasen has put together. He's got
Very exciting.
He's got 2 different ways to steal his opponent's creatures, and he's got at least 1 trumpet blast as well, and a bunch of token makers.
Oh, things to blow you out from nowhere. Great.
And that's exactly what he did.
Uh-huh.
You know, he got off to an early start. It kind of looked like things had settled down a little bit, and then all of a sudden it was like, whoops, steal that. That thing can't block.
So
and
who's your
you're
pick
dead.
then? Mardu or Abzan?
I think it's Bjorn. Yeah, all right. Why don't we send it down to James Turner, who's sitting with Sean Plott right now.
Welcome back to the winner's circle. We are here with Sean Plott, who just got himself into the finals. Sean, how you feeling?
Dude, I feel real nice because, you know, being someone that comes from an RTS background, when you're winning, you just you know you won. You're just like, okay, you know, he doesn't have any money. He can't come back. But in Magic, you're never quite sure what he has in his hand or what he's drawing. So there's so much suspense up to the last second. So I was at 2 life for way too long, and I knew he was 5 color. But I didn't see any mountains, so I was just like, please don't have burn. And doing this was one of the most effective things I did all game long.
That's awesome. So walk us through your deck. How you liking it? How you liking your clan? Sorry.
Well, I mean, it kind of plays itself. I have 17 or 18 creatures and generally just do the beatdowns. But what's cool is that like with the raid and ferocious keywords, there's a lot of planning and thought that I still feel like I can do in order to maximize a turn and that sort of thing. So I do feel some play, but not so much play that I'm going to get overwhelmed and mess up. And it's not big mistake-ridden plays. So I feel very comfortable with my deck right now. I just have to continue to get some key draws because I've gotten a lot of key forests when I really needed a forest.
And do you know what you're facing with Bjorn in this finals? Do you know what his deck is like? Do you have a plan?
Well, I heard the commentator say trumpet blast twice, so I'm assuming that he'll probably try to trumpet blast me twice. But I too am going to be laying the beats, so I'm going to try to outbeat him.
That is a solid strategy. So a couple more seconds here. It sounds like how have you been enjoying the weekend? Highlight of the day of the weekend for you, of everything that's happened. What are you gonna go home remembering the most?
Dude, it's just seeing cons, like just seeing the cards. It's the same reason you go to pre-releases. You get to see the new toys and play with the new toys, and just seeing how much 3-color stuff there is really cool. Since that has not been a big thing for a long time. So, I play Magic because I have a lot of fun, and the new sets are the core part of that. So.
That's awesome. Okay, we're gonna send it back to the booth for the finals here. Good luck, Sean.
Luck. I need luck.
Luck.
Luck. Literally luck.
Cross your fingers.
All right, fingers crossed, it seems.